Hello and welcome to Everything Reselling. I'm your host, Glam. I want to talk about today about numbers. And the reason why I want to talk about numbers is because we all get hung up on numbers. I get hung up on them. Everybody does. There are certain numbers you need to get hung up on, and there's certain numbers you don't need to get hung up on. Okay? First of all, let's talk about the numbers you should get hung up on. That's your back end numbers. That's your most important numbers. That's how much you've done in sales, what your return on investment is, your profit margin, if you can pay yourself, if you can't pay yourself, if you can hire somebody, if you can't hire somebody. Those are the important numbers. What's selling, what's not selling, what size is selling, what color is selling, what brand is selling. Those are very important numbers. Those are the most important numbers that you need to focus on. Everything else is not important at all. And here's why. Because people are going to like you. People are not going to like you. You could say something one day that could make somebody mad and they'd unfollow you. You could say something else that just resonated with someone hugely and they start then following you. It is not the numbers. And I am saying this to myself and to you guys because I feel like we all get hung up on those numbers. We all get hung up on them. We see them everywhere. You see them in people's shows on Poshmark. You see them on people's saves for whatnot. You see them in people's shows on whatnot. You see them as followers on Instagram. You see them as followers on YouTube. You see them as watchers on YouTube. I mean, these numbers are just in your face all the time. Everywhere you go. And what we do is get hung up on those stupid numbers. And you know what? It's not about the numbers. It's not. It's about how you're doing and if you're truly staying true to yourself or not. That's the truth. And that's how you need to run your business. Because it doesn't matter. You could have 10,000, 11,000, 12,000 followers on Instagram. You could have 1 million plus followers on YouTube. And guess what? You could be making zero in sales. Because just because people are liking what you're saying doesn't mean they're going to buy from you. Because you could not have anything that they want. Or maybe you're just talking about all the drama that's going on. And that's what people really want to listen to. So they're not even doing that. So, let's stop getting hung up on these numbers. And yes, again, I am saying this to myself too. Because you know what? These numbers are ridiculous. You hear people talk about, not our generation, the new generation and the bullying and everything that's going on. And people are like, oh, I don't understand. You know why you don't understand? It's because of all this stuff right here. Everybody is so hung up on all that stuff that they don't even realize that that's not what matters. What matters is at the end of the day, what you have done in sales, what you have gotten accomplished, and where you are. And I am reminding myself this also. Because you know what? I'm one of those ones that are like, man, I did a show for 2 hours or did a show for an hour and I made zero sales and people came in and they didn't buy anything and just, what am I doing wrong? Oh, I need to go get a real job. Oh, this just isn't working out. Oh, I lost 5 Instagram followers. Oh my God, what did I say? What did I do? Well, what could I have done differently? You know what? At the end of the day, that's not what pays the bills. And I don't care who says, oh yeah, well, I'm getting paid to do Instagram. Okay, cool. You're getting paid to do Instagram. Cool. You're getting paid to do YouTube. Awesome. That's awesome. Are you a reseller then? Are you a reseller anymore if you're being paid for your content and then you start busting out more content than you are your stuff that you're selling? Now, me personally, the way I want to run my business is I want to have sales and I want to make content. And the reason why I want to make content is to help people and to help myself and to grow myself, to grow me as a person and grow my business. Because you know what? There are people that don't know how to do stuff. There are people that follow certain people and they don't get to the point, or they don't say what they truly say, or they're mean and they put other people down, or just there's so much that goes around. And you know what? Like people, hate people, love people, don't. It does not matter. It is your choice. It is your opinion. And to get hung up on those numbers and beat yourself up over those numbers, it's just not okay. It's really not okay. What we should be focusing on is how much sales we're getting. If you're running a business and this is your full-time job, and I'm not talking about the part-time people either. And you know what? The part-time people probably drive me even more crazy than the full-time people. And here's why the part-time people drive me crazy. And I'm being honest, and I'm probably going to offend people on this one, but you know what? The part-time people drive me crazy because they do probably less amount of work than the full-time people. And some of them do make more money than the full-time people. And they have a full-time job. And it's like, how are you doing this? How are you able to knock so much stuff out? And I'm over here, or, and I'm talking not just me, I'm talking about people in general that are like, this person's over there and they only work part-time and they're able to do this. You know what? Here's the reason why they're able to do so much. And this is the truth. Because they do it part-time. So they have a lot of the part-time people have helpers. They really do. Because they can afford it. Let that sink in for a second. Because they can afford to have a full-time job and they can afford to do this part-time. And when they do this part-time, they can pay someone to do something else that they don't want to do. And that, as a full-time reseller, is probably the hardest thing that I can say has ever been for me. And I'm just speaking for myself. Is to let go. And to let go. And you are probably like, well, why is that so hard? Well, because for me, personally, and I'm speaking personally, it's my baby. Our kids are grown. I've been doing this since the kids were little, and this is my baby. This is the baby that is going to take care of me for a long time. This is my baby. This is like, if I didn't have children, this would 100% be my baby, because I built it from the ground up. I started it. It was an idea that I brought to life, and I've built it and made it grow. So to let go of some of that. And if you are a parent, you understand, because that's exactly what a business is. It's like a child, because you grow it, you make it, you grow it, and then it gets to a point where it's time to let that business go. And I'm not talking about let it go like you're going to sell it. I'm talking about letting some of it go, like letting somebody take pictures, or letting somebody write descriptions, or letting somebody do, having help to help you grow, because you are one person and you can only get so much done. And that is the hardest thing to come to the conclusion. Yeah, sometimes it's a little bit harder because you have to find somebody and you have to suck it up and you have to take that hit. And you have to be like, but if you can find somebody, I've had ideas, and I finally have been able to have someone come in and help, which, love ya. I don't know if you guys listen, but if you do, love you guys. But think about it. You could go up to the college. Most people have community colleges. You can go up there. You can ask the community college. You could go into the photography program, and you can ask the photographers, hey, I need a photographer. It gets you guys some more pictures. Would you, like to, as part of a program? Yeah, I can't pay you off right off the bat, but you can use some of it as, the thing. Or you want to do some modeling. You have to step out of your comfort zone to grow, because you do get to a point where you cannot grow any further, or else all what you're doing is working, and then you're not enjoying the things and the reasons why you wanted to start a business to begin with. Because every business gets to that point where they need help. They need other people to help them come in. Now, I'm not saying like come and save the day. I'm saying to take some of the burden off. You can only do so much. One of the things that I can say has been a huge help in my business is the Posh Sidekick and the cross-listing app. The reason why I can say that it's huge, there are some downfalls to it. I'm not going to say it's perfect and, it's the best thing out there. But I'm not going to bash them like other people do, because, yeah, there's room to grow with it. There is. Just like with anything. Yes, they could use some more bookkeeping, which they're working on. There's a lot of stuff that they could have done. But you know what? All the other ones aren't perfect either. They're really not. All the cross-listers that you want to talk about, you can bring up any of them. They're not perfect. They all have their flaws. They all have their things and their issues. And for them to say, oh, well, this does this and this does that and this does that. Come on now. Quit bashing each other. There's no reason to bash each other. You have different features than somebody else has. So what? And there's a reason why I like Posh Sidekick and crosslisting.com. There's a reason. The reason why I like cross-listing is because of the AI. There is nothing better than that AI. That AI is amazing. You literally add 3 pictures and it writes your description, it writes your title, and it puts your pricing in and you can adjust it. I can literally have a listing done within a couple minutes, which is amazing because then guess what? That opens up my time for something else. I can list now 30 items a day. 30 brand new items a day. And then it has the auto feature of auto relisting. So you don't even have to do it. You just set it up. You say, oh, you know what? After 90 days on Poshmark, I want it to relist. Oh, after 25 days, I want it to relist on eBay. Oh, after 30 days on Mercari, I want it to relist. Oh, Depop, I want 15 days. Grilled, I want 15 days. And I'm just throwing out numbers, but it literally does. It has it 15 days, 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days. Except for eBay. eBay's the only one that's like, I think it's 7 days, 14 days, and 25. I know it's 25 is the max you can go because it relists it before it ends. Now, you're probably saying, well, why would you want to do that? The reason why you want to do that is because if you just keep letting your listings go and go and go and go and go, you're not tickling that algorithm. You're not making Al happy. All what you're doing is your listings are getting stale, even on eBay. Now, it does take a couple of weeks, and I'm saying a couple of weeks because it can take up to 3 weeks for you to show up on Google. So yes, you want to put some out. So here's how I have set up mine. If you go and look on Google and you search something, right, you see on the top, you know what sites are paying for you to show up on Google. That is Amazon, that is Mercari, that is eBay, and that is Poshmark. Those are the 3 main ones. Depop, not so much. Vinted, not so much. Curtsy, not so much. Those ones are all not so much. So you can literally go, okay, you know what? I'm going to set up my Mercari so it's 30 days, right? Yeah, after 3 weeks it's hitting Google. Okay, cool. But guess what? If you're cross-listing to Poshmark, that listing is sitting on Poshmark for 60 days, okay? Or 90 days, depending on how far you have your Poshmark out. If it's on eBay, yeah, it's 25 days. Okay, so what? I don't know very many people, and I could be wrong, but most of the sales on eBay happen because people go into eBay and they search eBay. It's not from Google as much. I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but it's not as common. It is common, but it's not as common, right? As it is for Mercari and Poshmark. A lot more people are coming from off-platform to buy from there because they don't know about it. I mean, let's be honest. eBay's the behemoth. Everybody knows about eBay. eBay is like the Amazon of secondhand stuff, right? And new stuff also. You know, people are like, oh, did you check out eBay? Did you check out Amazon? Those are the 2 most people know about. Not a lot of people. You could do a survey, walk down the street and go, hey, excuse me, I have a question for you. Have you heard of Poshmark? I guarantee a lot of people are going to be like, no. Have you heard of Mercari? No. Have you heard of eBay? Yep. Have you heard of Amazon? Yep. That's how it rolls. Have you heard of Depop? No. You know, so those ones, you're kind of trying to draw your traffic there as much as possible. Yeah, they do take a percentage. Yeah, they're paying the percentage out. But let's be honest, a lot of people still don't know who they are, right? So you got to keep that in mind when you're selling too, is that you are driving the traffic to yourself. So going on these platforms, doing all these weird stuff, doing these videos, doing whatever, that is how you're attracting sales to yourself. But if you're not showing your items, if you're not selling yourself every single day, you're doing yourself a disservice because you're just relying on the platform to sell you. And that is not how you need to run your business. If you were in a brick and mortar, would that be how you ran your business? Just hope that people drive by and come into your shop? Just because you are on a selling platform like eBay or Poshmark or Mercari or Depop does not mean that you get to sit back and just hope that the business comes. It is just like a brick and mortar. If you had a brick and mortar store, what would you be doing to drive traffic to that brick and mortar store? And that's how more people need to look at their business also. This is not, yes, it's a word of mouth. And yes, I guarantee if you do something wrong, you're going to have twice as many people. But you know what? I almost feel like the bad publicity and the good publicity when it comes to reselling is all good. Like, it doesn't matter. And if you don't believe me, if you do not believe me, go look. Go look. Just go look. And you'll see that it doesn't matter. And that's a sad thing to say, because it used to be, oh, well, bad publicity hurts a business. Now, it don't matter. And that's 100% true. It does not matter if it's bad publicity or good publicity. It's still publicity. And if you don't think that's true, look at all the stars. Look at all the big wigs that, oh, so-and-so did so-and-so. And what ends up happening? They're in the news for like ever. And then all of a sudden their stuff's trending and they're popular and they're all over the place. So it's not so much anymore bad publicity equals no sales. Publicity is publicity, unfortunately. And that's a sad thing to say. And you would think that it wouldn't work that way. But it does. Any publicity to help your business is going to help your business. So stop focusing on those numbers and start focusing on how you're getting your name out there and how you're getting what you're selling out there and how you're driving traffic to yourself and what you're doing. Because if you're doing this full time, you should be doing full-time work and making sure that every single moment counts of every single day and you are running that business. If you're not and you're not happy to get up and you're not happy to do this, then guess what? You're in the wrong business. If you are literally starting to get to the point, and I have to remind myself this too, because there's days where all the stuff just gets to me and I'm like, ugh. And then I sit back and I go, wait a minute, why am I doing this? What is my why? And if you ever have those days where you start to feel down and you start to question yourself, remember what your why is. Why are you doing this? And quit comparing yourself to everybody else. You are not everybody else. You are unique. You started your business for a reason. You started it for a why. And what is that why? And do not compare yourself to everybody else, because everybody else is in a different spot. And I do it. I do it too. But you know what? There are people that have a full-time job and do this part-time. So they're literally not putting as much hours in, but guess what? They have a team helping them. And there are some people that are doing it full-time that have a team behind them. And then there are some people that just do it all themselves. And they're grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding. And all what you're going to do is keep spinning and spinning and spinning. And you're eventually going to have a breakdown. And when you have that breakdown, it's going to be horrible. And I am speaking from experience, and I'm speaking to myself, and I'm speaking to anyone that's listening. And I just want you guys to keep remembering the numbers of your social media, your YouTube, all of that does not matter. What matters is you're doing what you love. You're having fun with it. And hey, guess what? When you do hit that big number or something amazing happens, you're going to appreciate it more than the person that constantly is doing it. Keep that in mind too. Think about that one. So that's it for today's episode. I hope this helps somebody. Again, you guys keep on keeping on.